first of all, we were all shocked to see that many minorities, blind people, handicapped mountain climbers, Indian chiefs, gay people up there. I mean, it was hysterical. I mean, the first night, it was just endless black people at a Republican convention. It reminded me of the NBA. All white people in the audience, all black people on the stage. I mean, the last time the Republicans had this many black people on a stage, they were selling them. I mean, John Rocker turned it off and put on the WB network. So, you know, and we've
starting good. You're starting good. Okay.
I mean, when the gay guy spoke, did you see that? They were praying. Please, get the gay guy off the stage. No more. Please, not a gay guy. We'll go with the Indian, the blind mountain climber, okay, but not a gay guy.
Cheney's daughter.
Cheney's daughter.
Is gay. So, this is an open party.
It's an open...
Give him a little credit.
And apparently she loves Bush.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
I'll just let that one lay there.
I heard the crew go, oh my God.
The band got it. We'll be back with more of Mr. Maher in his last appearance on Larry King Live.
I really understand how this nightmare of clerical pedophilia could have happened, because if you're a priest and you spend your whole life spewing this nonsense about the snake and the whale and the apple and the rib, it's like, oh, fuck it, just blow me, kid. What the fuck? Also, what is so hard about just saying the words, I don't know? I don't know. Of course there are questions that plague all of us. How did we get here? What happens when we die? Is there a heaven? Am I on the list? Who let the dogs out? Yes. But why would you believe what some other human being, whose brain, I promise you, is no bigger or better than yours, when he tells you he knows what happens when you die? Don't masturbate now, you won't get to hang out with Jesus in heaven. How do I know? I've got a pointy hat. I've got a hat and a robe, and I have smoke and a wand. It's so gay, the whole church. It's just... Could they just come out of the closet, really? I mean, it's just so, you know, every Sunday it's such a pageant with the costumes and the wands and the goblets and the smoke and the kneeling down in front of another man with your mouth open.
I love America. I am just embarrassed that it has been taken over by people like evangelicals, by people who do not believe in science and rationality. It is the 21st century, and I'll tell you, my friend, the future does not belong to the evangelicals. The future does not belong to religion. That's another reason why religion disgusts me, because it is arrogance parading as humility. There is nothing humble about somebody getting up there and saying, thank you, God, for this award. What they're really saying is, thank you, God, for making me so wonderful and so talented. But that aside, when you were a kid and they were telling you whatever you believe in religion, do you think if they had switched the fairy tales that they read to you in bed with the Bible, you would know the difference? Do you think if there was the fairy tale about a man who lived inside of a whale and it was religion that Jack built the beanstalk today, you would know the difference? Why do you believe in one fairy tale and not the other? Just because adults told you it was true and they scared you into believing it at pain of death, at pain of burning into hell. I never said I didn't believe in God. I said I don't believe in religion. Religion is a...
Let's say Jesus Christ as
Excuse
Savior.
me, religion is a bureaucracy between man and God. There's a very big difference.
I can agree with you. I agree with you about that, but
But Joe, if you were born in Pakistan, you wouldn't be believing in Jesus Christ right now. You'd be believing in Muhammad. So it's completely and terribly arbitrary, isn't it?
You know, I wasn't born in Pakistan, Bill, so I don't know if that's the case or not. But
if you had been, you wouldn't be believing in Jesus Christ. You would have been told another fairy tale when you were a child, and you'd believe that. Because the idea that any person on earth can tell you with such specifics what happens when you die just blows my mind. That somebody on earth, another person, can just say to you, oh yes, and what happens when you get to heaven? Yes, you'll meet Jesus, he's wearing a white robe, there's a little gold piping on the sleeve, and then you go in this room and you eat eggs and you watch F Troop.
Are you kidding? What are you talking about? You're just a person like I am. You are clueless. You have no idea what happens.
Don't you think Rick believes it?
Of course he believes it, but how ridiculous is that? Like if I went to the Himalayas to find the holiest of holy men in the world who had all the answers, the guru, and I got to the top of the mountain, I said, please, master, can you help me with the ultimate meaning of life? He'd say, yeah, there's a guy, Rick, in Long Beach, Rick Warren. Go ask him. He knows exactly what happens when you die. And, you know, that is my ultimate message. Unless a God told you personally what happens when you die, it all came from another person with no more mental powers than you have, and you don't know. So just man up and say, I don't know.
But they believe. And belief is a tough thing to counter.
Yes, you know? And I understand why it's a luxury for some people who don't need it, and why a lot of people are less fortunate, and they do need it. So we're not trying to point fingers in this movie. I think we do it. We're laughing all the way through it. I think we're winking and having a good time, and we're not trying to be judgmental. But at some point, you know, mankind is going to have to shed this skin if he's going to move forward. I do have a serious intellectual problem with it. And on another level, it just ticks me off. It's just the ultimate hustle. It's just pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You know, why can't they? I asked Jesus in this at Holy Land, why can't God just defeat the devil and get rid of evil? You know, and it's the same reason a comic book character can't get rid of his nemesis. Then there's no story. If God gets rid of the devil, and he could, he's all-powerful, well, then there's no fear, there's no reason to come to church, there's no reason to pass the plate, we're all out of a job. You know, it's got to go on.
In America, if you say the word faith, which is what Hobby Lobby basically said, this is our faith, everything stops. Everybody just throws logic out the window and puts that at the head of the class. And nobody ever really says what I keep trying to say, which is faith. It just means that's my opinion. That's your opinion. Your faith is an opinion. I think it's a particularly stupid opinion. I've never understand why faith is good. People say the word faith and everybody just backs off. Just tell me why the purposeful suspension of critical thinking, which is faith, why that's a good thing. Why is this a good thing when you go, you know what? I'm not even going to apply logic to this situation. How about that? Right. Most European countries are mostly over faith. You know, the Scandinavian countries are, you know, 80 to 90% atheistic. They're over religion and they're over marriage. They're not over commitment. You know, they have babies and families. They just don't feel the need to, you know, involve the government in their love life, which I've never kind of understood either.
And yet, even before the Democrats got to take a single victory lap, they were being warned not to get drunk with power. I disagree. All you Democrats, do a shot, and then do another. Get drunk on this feeling of not backing down and doing what you came to Washington to do. Do not listen to the people who are now saying that nothing else big should be attempted for a while because health care was so rough. Wrong. Because I learned something watching the lying bullies of the right lose this one. When they're losing, they squeal like a pig. They kept saying things like the bill was being shoved down our throats, or the Democrats were ramming it through. The bill was so big they couldn't take it all at once. And you know what? I realized listening to this rhetoric that it reminded me of something. It reminded me of Tiger Woods' text messages to his mistress that were made public last week, where he said, and I quote, "I want to treat you rough, throw you around, spank and slap you and make you sore. I want to hold you down and choke you while I fuck that ass that I own. Then I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up while I slap your face and pull your hair for making noise." Unquote. And this, I believe, perfectly represents the attitude the Democrats should now have in their dealings with the Republican Party. Yes, it does. That's what they should be saying to the Republicans. Shut the fuck up while I slap your face for making noise. Now pass a cap-and-trade law, you stupid bitch, and repeat after me, global warming is real. The Democrats need to push the rest of their agenda while their boot is on the neck of the greedy, poisonous old reptile. Who cares if cap and trade isn't popular? Neither was health care. Your poll numbers may have descended a bit, but so did your testicles. So don't stop. We need to regulate the banks. We need to overhaul immigration. We need to end corporate welfare, including at the Pentagon. We need to bring troops home from everywhere. We need to end the drug war. And we need to put terrorists and other human rights violators on trial in civilian courts, starting with Dick Cheney. Democrats, in conclusion, Democrats in America were put on earth to do one thing: drag the ignorant hillbilly half of this country into the next century, which in their case is the 19th. And by passing health care, the Democrats saved their brand. A few months ago, Sarah Palin mockingly asked them, "How's that hopey-changey thing working out for you?" Great, actually. Thanks for asking. And how's that whole hooked on phonics thing working out for you? I don't want to live in a country where no one ever says anything that offends anyone. That's why we have Canada. But that's not us. That's not us, because you know what you get when you place a premium on never offending anyone and only saying what's safe? You get this guy. The least interesting man in the world. A man who never takes a position on anything that he cannot reverse in the second half of the same sentence. Like last week when he said, "We may make mistakes as a nation and we'll say we're sorry for that, but apologizing for America is something I will never do." That's right. Mitt refuses to apologize and he's very sorry about it. The MittBot 3000 has been programmed to take both sides of every issue everywhere. For example, his position on pulling out of Afghanistan, he's for it, and also against it. He's strongly for against it. This is the Frankenstein we have created. Mitt Romney, the least interesting man in the world. He once said corporations were people because, compared to him, they are. When Ambien can't sleep, it takes him. He once masturbated thinking about the great everyday values at Sears. Paint watches him dry. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, no, wait, he never does. Because he is the least interesting man in the world. Stay boring, my friends.